I knew this would happen. Just hours after the American Airlines crash that appears to have killed 64 people in Washington, D.C., Donald Trump couldn't wait to blame Obama, Biden, and you guessed it, DEI.
It is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan. Think of that.
And why does he know it's because of DEI?
How you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash?
Because I have common sense.
That's not common sense. It's bigotry. No investigation has been conducted, and families are just now learning that their loved ones are gone. But the President of the United States is standing at the White House podium, recklessly speculating about things he knows nothing about.
You had a helicopter that had the ability to stop. I have helicopters. You can stop a helicopter very quickly.
In times of tragedy, presidents are supposed to bring us together and help us heal as a nation. But just as we see with his lies and attacks responding to the wildfires here in California, Trump does exactly the opposite. This is what happens when a country is foolish enough to put a twice impeached, convicted felon con artist in charge of the entire government. What were you thinking, America? Did you really think his racism was going to compensate for the incompetence of a man with 6 bankruptcies and multiple failed and fraudulent businesses? Harry Truman famously said the buck stops here at the president's desk. But with Trump, the buck always shifts to anybody but himself. He did the exact same thing when he lied about the severity of the coronavirus.
We have a total of 15 cases. And again, when you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero, that's a pretty good job we've done.
And then the COVID pandemic ended up killing 400,000 Americans.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Under his watch. Trump just fired the head of the Transportation Security Administration and all members of the Aviation Security Advisory Committee and pushed out the FAA administrator without a replacement. Air traffic controllers are federal government employees, but Trump just sent out a memo to purge thousands of federal government workers who keep us safe. This is dangerous and shameful. It's a coordinated effort from MAGA Republicans to blame everything that goes wrong in America on DEI, which by that they mean black and brown people. But sadly, we've been here before. Just last year, I stood at this same location and spoke about the Baltimore bridge collapse. As soon as the cargo ship hit the bridge in Baltimore, conservatives couldn't wait to blame DEI. So who was responsible for the thousands of plane crashes, train accidents, and bank failures in the 200 years before DEI even existed, when only white men held those jobs? The worst train accident in America was in 1918. The conductor was a white man. The worst plane crash in America was in 1979. The pilot was a white man. The worst shipping accident in America was in 1865. The captain was a white man. And the worst president in America? In reality, diversity, equity, and inclusion have always been about recruiting, hiring, retaining, and promoting qualified black people, women, people of color, and other groups that have traditionally been locked out of opportunity. So stop politicizing tragedy to blame black and brown people. That is not smart business thinking, it's not common sense, and it's not presidential leadership. Just call it what it is. That's racism.